Welcome to a brand new episode, another lovely bundle. I can't believe how quickly we are galloping through these. So today I'm kicking off with interview 73, which of course you can find all on iTunes. Also, you may have noticed my website has been redesigned, which I'm really excited about. And in time, all of these will be back on. But it's all time consuming and there's a lot going on and it's still the school holidays. So yes. Keep checking back and the full episodes will be there. They're also on my YouTube channel. So if you Google my name, you will find my channel and everything is there and live right now. So if you prefer to listen on the move, you can do that. Right. Interview 73. Greta Solomon. She's an author and creative writing coach. I know there is that talk about us all having a book in us, but sometimes just sitting down and having that motivation and inspiration to actually write the thing can be tricky sometimes. So she really shakes up this process and shares some of her great tips and frameworks to make it fun. And ultimately, that's what we want, hey? Then Sophie Finch, who is the founder of Finch Interiors. I've got to know Sophie really well over the last few years because she's become a long-term client and she is pure, or rather her business is pure escapism. Go and check out her website, Finch Interiors. You will see some of the most gloriously designed cafes, bars, restaurants. Where her imagination goes, I just don't know, but she's so brilliant at what she does. You may have even been in one of those restaurants, but not known about it. So do check it out if you would like a bit of a taste of creativity today. Interview 75 is with Elizabeth Stiles, who is a fashion brand consultant. This is a really juicy one because I know so many of my clients want to create products. But as soon as you say products, you might think, oh gosh, lead times and samples and factories and money and signing things off. And Elizabeth is so good at breaking down that process of what you actually do so you can bring something to life. So if you are thinking about products, especially if you're thinking about fashion things, things you can wear, then do listen to this episode. And finally, in this little bundle, episode 76 with Catherine Blyth, who is the author of About Time. Sorry, not About Time. That is Lizzo. Enjoy Time. Yeah, isn't it a prominent topic at the moment? How we're spending our time, what's important to us. What are we doing with our life? Is this just me? I doubt it. So much good stuff in here. And also do check out her book. It's really interesting. And she's written lots of other stuff as well, which you may enjoy. If you would like to check out my website, my brand new website, do so, nickiraby.com. And do keep looking at the freebies pages. There are some really lovely things happening very, very soon. Keep checking back, nickiraby.com/freebies and enjoy the episode.
So it's kind of a lot of deep work that can be done to just drill down and see what exactly are you thinking about yourself and your writing, and that can be a source of the block, that basic mindset stuff. The other thing that can be a source, and then you have to sort of create affirmations and work through that. The other way that you might be blocking yourself is that you are actually just writing just from the head and just thinking that you ought to sit at your desk and think beautiful thoughts and they should just flow on the page, and trying to make writing too clean in a way and too sterile.
Yes.
And I kind of encourage people to think of it as being dirty, messy.
And I have the worst handwriting, so I'm kind of, I do need to go through that like really ugly stage with it.
Yes. Yes, but that's perfect. The more kind of messy and that you can move around, you can go for a run, come back, you're all sweaty, and that gets you out of your head and you're on your page, and that can fix the block as well. So, and doing other creative writing exercises as well can help get you out of your mind, and I teach a lot of those as well.
And in that day, we might go to the cinema, or we might just sit around and watch Game of Thrones, or we might.
I kind of want to work for you. I have no skill or expertise, but I'm available.
We might, and on a Tuesday, like we all work from home on a Friday, because I want to work from home on Friday, so the girls should be able to as well.
Yeah.
And if they want to go and see a partner in a different part of the world, that they can work from there, or work from their mums or whatever. I'm totally flexible about where you work, because I think that gets you away from sitting at your office in your desk 9 to 5 all the time. You can't be creative, because you might see something in a magazine, or you might look out the train window and go, oh my God, that's it, I've got it.
Yes.
And I think I get my most of my ideas when I'm away from work, like when you're just having a shower, or just sort of in the middle of the night, I'm like, oh my God, that's it. Or
that helps.
I also wanted to ask you along the lines of, how do you I guess your clients, you sort of mentioned that sense of like building your confidence so you can work on your creativity. What things are really good for keeping you buoyant and sort of believing it? Because sometimes I guess if somebody's saying like the lead time is 2 months or whatever, that it feels like it's in the distance or it's not real yet. Or sometimes, especially if people have had a really sort of serious corporate job and they've kept this little art project hidden for a long time, it can be quite bold to reveal it to the world. What do you sort of suggest to your clients that will kind of help them really step into this new zone?
Yeah, well, there's 2 points in that, I think. One of them is, if the factory does tell you the lead time is 2 months, that please don't not do anything for 2 months. We're all about the analogies today, but this analogy is like building a house. If a builder said to you come back in 2 months and your house will be done, you'd laugh.
Yes.
You'd be like, no way, I'm going to hire a project manager to manage this thing and find out when, I don't know how to build a house, but when the bricks are arriving or when the windows are arriving. You've got to fit it all in. And it's the exact same thing as building a garment. There's people in the industry who are production managers. That is their job title. So that's your job title for that part of the process. So you've got to ring out the factory and say, when is the fabric arriving? When is it being cut? When is it being sewn? When is it being packed? And give me some dates within that 2 months. And you put those dates in your calendar and you phone them on those dates. And if they haven't done it, you know earlier on whether it's going to be late or not. And especially if you've got a wholesale order with a buyer waiting for you at the end of it, and you ring up the factory on the, at the end of the 2 months going, oh, is it ready now? And they're like, oh, no, we haven't even started it yet, because I didn't think you were interested. You've not phoned us,
Oh, yes. And sometimes as well, especially female clients that I have, it's that like, oh, I don't want to seem pushy, or I don't want to seem like I'm pushy. Kind of...
Go for it.
Yeah, like you have to chase that and go, hi, I'm available, because otherwise, if it becomes competitive for their time, then they say, oh, well, I'm just going to work on this because they seem really keen.
So that's the first thing. And the second thing, I was all about the blog posts yesterday. I wrote 12 tips about how to combat self-doubt in the fashion industry, funnily enough. So the big thing is just sort of to write everything down. I think in your head, what's in your head is way more mean than the real you. And then once you've written it down, read it out loud, and you'll be shocked at how horrible and most likely untrue that is.
I suppose it's just the detail of, so things that you may feel but then actually how come, and then the facts are there. So I've always known that when I'm having a fun time, suddenly I'll look up and 6 hours have gone by and the party's over and you sort of feel terribly sad that you had this wonderful time, but you haven't kind of nailed it down. You can't take it home in your pocket and keep it because it's just gone. But then when you're looking back at that fun time you had, you can remember it, and you can remember all sorts of things. So it goes really fast when you're having it, and then afterwards it's quite slow. There's a lot to remember. Whereas if you're really desperately bored or you're feeling low, time just crawls by and you can stare at the clock, willing it to go faster, and it just gets slower and slower. But when you look back at those times, there's not much to remember.